Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. I am CallMeNakomi and welcome back to CallMeNakomi World. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate you coming back. I appreciate you for watching on YouTube and listening on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, if that's basically where you consume this information. But I appreciate you coming back for great entertainment content that I'm going to be trying to continue to provide for you guys. Today, we have a very special episode. Kind of like back in the day in the 90s where you would have like, this is going to be a very special episode. We are pregnant with joy to have a good friend of mine come on the show for this episode. Shar from WOT in Color is joining us today. Jambo, my sister, how are you doing today?
Jambo, my sister. Oh my God. Thank you so much for having me on. I have missed you.
We've missed you and Kiva. We've definitely missed you guys. And I've missed, just basically being with you guys and talking about Wheel of Time and this life. I mean, so I really, really appreciate you being able to come on the episode.
Yeah. It's, life has been lifing. So WOT in Color is in a little bit of a hiatus. But we definitely miss you. We miss everyone. We miss recording. We miss talking about these books. And we will get back to it once life allows us to do so.
I'm sure. Trust me. I'm not here to judge. It took me a whole year and a half off, basically. But the greatest of Wheel of Time is that it's always here for us to consume and for us to talk about. So we can always come back to it, put it down, and come back to it anytime. So, please tell the audience a little bit about yourself if they don't know Shar. Nobody should not know Shar by now, but please, tell them where they can find you also.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm Shar, and I'm the co-host of WOT in Color. We can be found everywhere, basically. We have a podcast called WOT in Color, and we're on all the socials. So WOT in Color, and it's hosted by myself and my best friend, Kiba. And it's basically it's not your typical... It's a first-time reader, veteran reader, Wheel of Time podcast, but it's not the typical one. We're a little different. So check us out. Kiba is brand new to the series, and she has agreed to start reading it. And so currently we are in the Eye of the World. We're still in book 1. And I have been reading these books for 20 years, since 2003, for 20 years. And I've read them a million times. And I'm just excited that I have people to talk to about them. So
that's the beauty of when you have people to talk to, and that's why I'm so happy to be able to have you on my show today, because I'm just like I'm very much enjoying this season and talking to you guys about it. But I'm so happy to have another person to talk to and have Discord about, what we are experiencing and what we're seeing, basically. And I enjoy, WOT in Color for, giving, it's like a different type of view on, the books that we love, and just being able to talk about it, just like how friends talk about different things. And so as we explore it and discover it, I really enjoy, seeing the world through Kiba's eyes.
yeah it's so fun. And it's just to watch her go through it. And Kiba is very insightful, and
absolutely
to watch her read through things and she can see between the lines, and just like her ability to predict certain things it's hard. It's hard for me to keep a poker face. It's really, really, really hard for me to keep that poker face. But I'm really excited. I can't wait till we finish the book. I want to know, if she's going to be as excited as we are and want to continue, because she only promised me book 1. She said, I promise I'll read book 1. I can't say I'm going to read all 14, 15 books of the series. So, so we'll see. But I think she's digging it, though. I think she's digging it.
Get that hook out there. I think I feel like we got one. We got one. I think we got one. But hey, as I say, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say she's one of us now.
She's one of us. She's that came to a Jordan Con. You know what I mean? She's the community embraced her as usual. Yeah. And so I feel like we definitely have one. And I mean, once you get through the first one, it's like once you have one, you can't have only one. It's like a chip.
Yeah, it's like Lay's potato chips.
It's like Lay's potato chips. You read one, and you're just like, Well, hell, I might as well find out what happens to these people.
Exactly.
You know what I
Exactly.
mean? You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
do we save the world? I mean, you got to know.
Right.
You got to know. So
Yeah.
today, it brings us to today. We are talking about the Wheel of Time TV series on Amazon Prime. And the season 2, episode 7 just came out. And so we're going to be going over season 2, episode 7, which is called Deus de Mar. That is the Game of Houses. From the book series. I'm hoping that you guys are reading the book series or have read the book series or are in the process of reading the book series. So let's just go ahead and speak about the spoiler warning then while we're on the topic. Okay, so I'm going to tentatively say that the spoiler warning is on red today. Yes, the stoplights on this joint right here, because usually I'll try not to. I'll just like mention things here and there, little Easter eggs that veteran readers would catch, you know what I mean? But at the same time, I'll try not to spoil too much, but I don't get a chance to speak to a veteran reader every time, very often. So this is going to be a straight full spoilers reading. I don't know where we're going to go. I don't know where it's going to take us, but I don't want any kind of, I don't want a governor on our speed limit right now,
Right.
So I just
full throttle. Let's
full
go.
throttle. Whatever we talk about is fair game. So, like I'm telling you now, don't say I didn't warn you. I cannot guarantee your book chastity. I cannot. I cannot.
I love that book chastity.
Your book chastity. I cannot confirm it. I cannot guarantee it. It just might be gone today. It might be gone today.
About to pop that cherry
all day. So you've been warned. Don't act like you haven't. So anyway, but please, before we go on any further, before we jump right into the books, please like, comment, subscribe, and rate me and share me wherever you want to see more CallMeNakomi World. And I appreciate it and thank you in advance, guys. So let's jump right into it, into the thick of it. Okay, so just going to review different happenings in episode 7.
I have notes. I have notes.
Yes. And go ahead and jump in wherever you feel like it. I'm just going to run through, and hey, if you have something you want to mention or laugh, do you have fun? We're going to have fun with this. So, out in the foregate, Matt is agonizing over his decision to not join Rand when he is attacked from behind by a mysterious figure. And when he wakes, Lanfear is there, and I don't think he knows that that's Lanfear yet. I'm not exactly sure yet, one way or the other. But she greets him and tells him, "Hey, you're in Falm," and he can't believe it, but he goes outside and looks, and yes, he's in a whole nother country. And later he meets his second babysitter, Ishi. Now, I've been calling Ishamael Ishi just for short. Ishi. So, which he is Ishi. He's kind of Ishi. So basically he meets his second babysitter, who is whittling wood to pass the time and making tea. And while he's just messing with Matt's mind, talking to him, and Matt is just like, is this a sex or a murder conversation? And I absolutely cackled at that.
That's my favorite line.
Absolutely, because he'd much rather talk. I feel you, bro. I need to know where this is going.
Let's get right to it. Whatever it is, let's get right to it.
Let me know what's going on. I'm numbered up today. It's good. Right. What we got? Anyway, so Ishi brews some flicker tea, and so Matt can basically see his past lives, and what he sees, he sees his mom, and she has nothing nice to say to him as usual, and a mirror that shows him hanging from a rope, and wonder if that's foreshadowing, and him drowning someone. And this person kind of looked like Rand to me. I'm not exactly sure if you kind of figured anybody who he was drowning.
So at first, someone, and it looked like Fane because it was a black person, was drowning him. First, like when you first see that image, first is someone drowning what looks like him, a black person drowning a white person. So I'm assuming it's Fane, possibly. I don't know.
Right.
Drowning Matt, and then it switches. The next time we see that image, it's Matt drowning somebody, maybe Rand. I don't know, somebody.
I was
white.
Right. I saw the hands. The hands kind of looked white, and of course, we're not judging or assuming that light colored hands means white. But at the same time, that's the part that I kept on trying to rewind it to catch that first image, and I wasn't sure exactly who that person was. So okay, we're gonna go with Fane. And then he also sees himself stabbing Egwene. It looked like Egwene. Was that Egwene? Do you think that was Egwene?
I couldn't tell. I saw him stabbing somebody, and I just couldn't tell.
Right. And I figured it was a female, and I kind of went back a bit, and it kind of looked like Egwene, but either way, he's losing it. He's starting to losing it. And
Definitely.
he's incoherent and mumbling in Ishi's arms, and while Ishi is whispering sour nothings in his ear. He's just whispering sour nothings in his ear, and I'm trying to convince Matt to see it in his way, see things his way. So
can you imagine being comforted by a Forsaken?
oh my goodness, he's just running his face. I got more words on that anyway.
Okay.
But
yeah, we'll talk about it.
but this is anyway. Either way, yes, it was just creepy. It's just creepy. So imagine having those two as babysitters for your day.
Right.
Then we go to Egwene, and she's out on a plane with Damani Training, with other Damani and Suldam, and Renner is at her side, of course. And today's exercise is testing Damani's strength. So, of course, Renner, being the toxic person that she is, threatens her that she better not embarrass her.
Sound like a black mama, right? Sound like our mamas.
Don't
right?
embarrass me out in these streets.
Listen, don't ask for nothing. Don't touch nothing. Don't you embarrass me while we out here.
Exactly. Yeah, we go to Toys R Us, but we ain't buying toys for you.
Right. And no, we can't have McDonald's.
No, we can't. McDonald's.
I can make McDonald's at home. You got McDonald's money?
Her.
Brenda definitely was on her. Do you got McDonald's? Do you have McDonald's money? Wait. Don't embarrass me out here in the streets.
Oh, she was definitely one of those mamas back in the day. I mean, extension cord mamas, one of them extension cord mamas.
Listen, one of them, whatever's in reach mamas, whatever is next to me.
Choncleta mamas.
Right, everything. Oh my gosh.
I tell you now.
Mercy. How we all had the same childhood. That's so funny.
Oh, one of the worst ones I ever got was with a slipper.
Oh my god!
I mean, and I'm just
don't
saying
be in the kitchen though. Don't be in the kitchen when you get in trouble. You getting hit by wooden spoons and spatulas and all types of stuff. Lord have mercy.
Absolutely.
But we made it. We here. We made it.
The greatest generation.
We made it. Yeah. So we gotta see it. Egwene's gonna make it. Egwene's gonna make it. She's from different stuff. She's from different stuff. Yeah. So she built different. She
built different. Absolutely. So one Damani and Suldam pair go out and demonstrate their air explosion, and the gust barely even reaches the rest of the group.
That was a little poof.
That was a little poof. I was just like, and they called it good, and I was like,
that was good.
Egwene out of sheer disgust goes out there with Renna, and with her power, the explosion blows all of them off the feet, and it can be heard all the way in the city. And you know what I mean?
Even poor Loyal was like, "What was that? What in the world?"
The fuck? Exactly. Right. You know what I'm saying? And this is the cringy part to me. That night, Egwene is in the cell. Oh no, not this part. Egwene is in the cell, braiding her hair back. Getting back in touch with her roots. You know what I'm saying? Back in touch with her roots and giving herself a nice little goddess braid going down her hair. Right. And then Renna comes in all cringy, wanting to, please
wash her hands.
Wanted to wash her hands and her face. And I was just like, ugh. Yeah. And she's trying to tell her about, oh, this is the Empress's plans, and all Egwene has to say to her is, "I will kill you, bitch.
I will kill you.
I will kill you.
Let's be clear.
Kill you.
We are not bonding. This is not a girls' night.
No, this is not.
This is no.
We're not gonna sit down and read. And
paint each other's toenails. No, we none of that. None of that. I will kill you.
You know what I mean? And
I can't right now, but it will happen.
Believe that woman, Renna. Believe that woman.
Please believe it.
Please believe it.
As my girl Roxanne Shante says, please believe it.
Please believe it. I'll try it now. That's coming. It's coming. And then still down out there in Falm, we have Nynaeve and Elaine, and they're walking the streets of Falm. And Nynaeve's plan, of course, is basically to rush right into it. She wants to follow the soldiers right into the palace, but Elaine vetoes that and is like, no, that's not what we're gonna do. Let's go try to find your man Loyal. And then they find him, who just heard the huge explosion from outside the city. But he goes around the corner, and Nynaeve spots him and pulls him aside for a little reunion and chat. He tells her that Perrin escaped, but Egwene is being held in an old prison outside the palace. So of course, Nynaeve again, she wants to rush right in, but there's no way to get in right now. So they said, "All right, peace out, loyal. We'll talk to you later. We're going to come for you. We're going to come back for you too." And that night, they decide to take action and walk up to a Soldam and just slap an Adam right on her neck while Nynaeve is wearing a bracelet.
Yeah, Nynaeve was like, "Don't this look nice on me?" Show her the bracelet. Don't you like it?
Isn't this cute? Exactly. And Elaine comes through and just knocks her out. And I was just like, on and popping like Donkey Kong right at the end of the Great Hunt. Here we go.
Yeah.
Then a different perspective. We have Perrin and Aviendha, and they're walking through the desert with Hopper by his side, still at his side. I'm really happy to see that. When he sees something hiding in the sand, and it's an Aiel woman named Bane, and she comes to meet them, and Aviendha gestures with her hands, which is maiden hand talk, just so y'all know, and asks to be taken to Jolene. There's another Aiel woman further up the hill who is standing next to a gravesite, and Jolene has died from her wounds. So Aviendha gestures to them again, and they begin to start, beating her bloody, but, she absolutely allows it because she has toe and needs that beating to restore her G, which is her honor. Then she asks Perrin about the ring, if it means that he's owned by a Wetlander woman, and it's like, yeah, kind of. I mean, we have a little bit of looser boundaries nowadays, but yeah, kind of. And says that Bane would be disappointed, and I'm just like, okay, Bane slipping in the maiden hand talk DM trying to slide in. I feel it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not mad at it. And then they arrive at the coast to see the ocean that boggles the Aiel's mind to see so much water, but they see Falm in the distance. So yes. All right, everybody's coming together. Then we go back to Kyrian, where Leandrin goes to Casa de Damadred to meet with not Moraine's little sister, but Barthanes, and she is there to deliver orders from their master. Glad to see that Barthanes is still with the team that we think he is. Yes. And they want Moraine gone today. That's the orders. And if your mother is suspicious, take her out too.
Take her out too. Like, damn, right?
My mama,
my own mama. I gotta take my mama out.
Dang, you know what I'm saying?
I'll take out my auntie and my mama.
You know what I'm saying? But like any good mother, she is listening at a hole in the ground, because that's what a good mother should do.
That's what good mothers eavesdrop on their kids all the time. Yes.
Absolutely. Hey, like I told my daughter the other day, I was like, listen, I've had this conversation a very, very long time ago with my brothers. The only way to know that you've been a good parent is for your kid to say, I hate you at least once. And it's okay.
Yes.
I've done my job. I'm not saying that I want you to hate me, but you have to at least know that I am present and I will get in your shit in a moment.
Yes.
I am never out of your shit. Period.
Right.
Period. So, but so later on, though, one of Barthanes' aides tells him that Moraine is alone in her room and sedated, and he enters with a sword, but his mother surprises him from behind and locks him in. And he tells her that he did all of this for them, but she's just like, no, she's going to do what's right, and turns him over to the city guards. Yep. So here we go again.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Then for the main course, people, we get a flashback from 20 years ago. And bells are chiming all around Tar Valon. The Aiel War is over, and Moraine and Swan are walking hand in hand through the tower, as young Aes Sedai. Oh, gotta love it. And they are discussing their retirement plans in the fish hut. And yes. They enter Katara Moroso, for people who basically, for the books, but Katara Sedai is how they greet her. And they enter her quarters to inform her about the end of the war. And when she hears it, she has a foretelling that the dragon has been reborn. And she tells them not to tell anyone and to find him and prepare the world to follow him. Mm-hmm. And then she dies right there in Moraine's hands. That's one of my favorite parts from the books every single time, from either New Spring or when they retell it in The Great Hunt. I absolutely love that part. So I'm glad that they actually did have the foretelling scene. Then they fast forward, and the retirement plans aren't going exactly the way they expected.
Yeah. Do they ever though? Like, we make
No.
plans and, yeah.
401k what?
Right. Right.
So, it looks like Swan has brought the entire Armelin seat to the Sun Palace, which is a huge flex. I mean,
Yeah.
how else
The
do you flex?
actual chair, like the actual.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We feel you. Damn, we
She's just
see
sitting
you.
on it like, just,
You know what I mean? Dang.
I'm
Okay.
here.
We
Right.
see you. All right. So Leanna brings in Moraine and leaves them to speak alone. And she wants to know why Moraine didn't tell her about being stilled, or why she's going all rogue with Lan. And also, it's time. The time has come that she needs to meet the Dragon Reborn. So Rand is outside in the hall, pacing back and forth like he's waiting for paternity tests. And, Lan is doing his best Mr. Clark impersonation. Pull your pants and tuck your shirt in, Sams.
Not Joe Clark. Joe Clark.
That's the first thing that popped in my mind. Tuck your shirt in. Pull your pants up, tuck your shirt in.
Oh my God.
And Rand is all nervous, but Lan gives him the best advice that he could ever give him throughout the whole entire series. Whatever comes, face it on your feet. And that's that's great advice, regardless of what, for anyone. Then he moves to give Rand a coat and take his sword, but Rand immediately gets into a sword fighting stance, which I loved. I absolutely loved. And he recognizes it as a sword form, and he tells him, try to use Cat crosses the courtyard instead, because the Armelin waits. So Rand enters and bows and says he stands ready. And she asks him to be honest with her. But immediately he lies about channeling, and not that he hasn't channeled. He barely channeled. Just a little bit. I haven't channeled at all. Not at all. Right. But she tells him that, no, you must channel. You will and you must, because you can't control it, and you need to learn how to control it. And he thinks that they're going to gentle him, but no, they need him. And Tower Law says that they are supposed to keep him caged and shielded until the last battle. But he's not going to go for that. So he tries to channel, and immediately, but a snap of Swan's finger, he is shielded and on the floor, wrapped up in air weaves. So, he's trapped. And Rand is still kneeling on the floor, shielded, when Moraine and Lan enters. She asks Swan to release him, but Swan says she's going to abide by Tower Law, which I was like, okay, whoa. Because,
this is different. This is different.
This is different from the book, But she says that the plan was that Moraine was supposed to stay with him, and in case he goes mad, she would shield him. But she can't shield, because she can't do that because she's stilled. So so she's going to go by Tower Law instead. And they place Rand in a room below. I'm assuming with Moraine also being held in custody. And with Leanne holding his shield. And he tells Moraine that he was on his way to farm because Ishii has Egwene. And then Moraine realizes that she tells him that that's where the dragon is supposed to proclaim himself, in the skies of Falma. And a little bit later, outside, the young brown that we saw from a couple episodes ago, comes to meet Varen outside and gives her an old Ogier map. Okay. So no one else nowhere else to go. Rand escapes to the dream world, and Lanfear finds him, of course, because she always has her radar out for Rand, always. And she has on some boots that are absolute serial killers. Those boots was amazing.
Yo, that
serial
was the first
killers.
thing I said. I was like, I need those boots.
Those boots put
when
people
Lanfear's in the dream world, though, she been killing it.
Oh, I said that she was wearing second age couture. Absolutely, she was wearing second age couture. She was looking flawless.
And I'm here for it. I want to know. I wanted to be there for the second age fashion week, because I know all them fashions was probably
absolutely.
Oh my God! Can you imagine if they had a Met Gala in the second age? What? Oh my God! The fashions that came out.
Oh,
Lord have mercy.
I can still see P. Diddy laying on the steps though with his red bottoms.
So imagine in the Wheel of Time world,
absolutely amazing. Absolutely.
Have mercy.
And he has no other choice, but he asks her for help to basically break him out of the pokey. So give us free. So she wastes no time and goes right to the foregate and starts attacking people with fire. And then back in the cells, Varen comes
she
down.
Don't break a sweat neither. She
no,
just be like,
she was just like,
right.
she had no, she gave no fucks at all.
No
she was throwing them back right in ever. Grenades, plain simple. So back in the cell, Varen comes down from the for a visit and tells Leanne that the Armelin requires her strength to protect Kyrian. Nice wording right there. And to give her Rand's shield. She'll hold it. And when Leanne leaves, of course, she lets Rand go and leads them up out of an empty palace and tells them where to go find a waygate because of the Ogier map, you know?
The map that she had, yep.
Yes, exactly. And the Armelin and the Aes Sedai, you know, gather at the top of the palace and are overlooking the flames that are taking the foregate. And Swan links with them and makes it rain on them hoes real quick, and takes out and puts out the fire. You know what I mean? And then when Lyanna comes up to join them, of course, you know, the Armelin didn't send for her. So
we'll talk about that. We're gonna
talk about that. So the three amigos, Rand, Lan, and Moraine, they find the waygate. And Moraine begins to tell Rand that he must open it, but Lan is like, "No, you're going to open it." He asks Rand, "Do you see weaves around her? You know, embrace the source and see if you see weaves around her." And he can, and he sees that the weaves are knotted around her. And Rand doesn't exactly know how to untie it, but he might be able to cut it. So, you know, eager to have her power back, you know,
he was like, "I trust you."
Moraine was like, "I trust you," and I was like, "Girl, you do."
Right. She was
are you sure?
Do what you will with me.
I was just like, girl, are you sure? Okay, here we go. So Rand draws in fire from Lan's torch and probes it until he's able to strike, and she is freed. And you bring me joy when I'm down. That was Moraine's face. She was much joy. She was in rapture. I'm telling you right now.
Yes,
and she's all
because she never thought that would ever be possible. First of all, she thought she was stilled, but she wasn't.
That part.
She was shielded and it was tied off, which apparently is something that is a talent that has been lost with in the Age of Legends. So
exactly. Yeah, Rand had to learn it from what was his teacher again? God, what was his name? Asmodean, basically. And the girls in the books, the girls learned it from Mogadine. So
Mogadine,
you know, so basically there was a lost talent. Mogadine.
You listen to the audiobooks, huh?
Exactly. It is what it is. But at the same time, they switch it around back and forth too. So
they do.
I just go with the first one that comes to my mind.
One book she's Mogadine, and the next book she's Mogadine. And we love it. We love it.
I'm here for Michael Kramer and Kate Redding every single day.
Absolutely. Every single time.
Every single time.
Love them. You know? Love them.
Absolutely. And she's all like, I feel it. And I'm just like, that's what she said. And you know, Moraine embraces the power and opens the Eye of Sauron. The Waygate. And they're almost home free until Swan finds them, shields Rand, and knocks Lan to the ground. And she tells Moraine to close the Waygate. And you know, thinking that Moraine died, Moraine was actually lying, saying that she was being stilled. We'll go over that a little bit more too.
Yeah. I wrote that down. Yeah.
You know. And Moraine is trying to explain, but Swan doesn't want to hear any of it. And she commands Moraine to close it. And then, compelled by her oaths on the oath rod, she has to do it and does so. Then Lanfear crashes the party and knocks Swan out, which releases Rand's shield. She moves then to finish off Moraine immediately because it's on site with Moraine. Yeah. It's absolutely on site.
Yep. She was like, I told you next time I see that hole.
I swear on everything I love, on the Dark One himself. So she goes in the mood to finish off Moraine, but Rand jumps in between them and tells her that, you know, if you want my help, you have to leave her alone. So Lanfear reopens the Waygate with ease and leads them through as Swan watches them go. So that was the end of the episode. That was the episode, y'all. That was the episode.
Listen. First of all, I just want to say on record that I'm I'm thoroughly enjoying the show. And just generally speaking, what I most love about it, and there's a lot of folks out there in on Beyonce's internet complaining about the show and everything and its deviation from the books. But let me tell you, I read these books a million times, and I'm always hungry for more Wheel Time content. We have this show that is like another turning of the wheel, and it's telling the same story that we love with these characters that we love in a totally different way. And what's dope about that for me is I'm watching the show and I have no idea what's going to happen next.
Absolutely.
I love it. I absolutely love it.
It's like
love
watching
it,
a flicker. It's like watching a flicker. This
is a flicker. This is just another, it's like a metaverse.
Absolutely.
This is a like, I love it. I love it, love it, love. So I just wanted to say that,
No, absolutely. I was definitely gonna ask you that. How you're feeling about the episode, how you feeling about the show, the seasons. At first it was just a little bit like shell shock from the first season, but at the same time I still liked it. I knew it was going to be different, and I'm glad that Rafe Judkins put that disclaimer out from the beginning that this is another turning of the wheel, so it wasn't going to be exact and obvious. It makes perfect sense logically to change it up a bit because yes, there are things you have to tweak because it's not going to be
everything
socially
doesn't
acceptable.
Translate well. Everything doesn't translate well from book to screen.
Exactly.
So you have to make some changes. And
absolutely,
and I love how we're getting scenes that we get scenes that were kind of off scene in the books. Like even if you go back to season 1, the very first episode, we get the Trolloc attack in Emmons Field, and that happened in the books, but we didn't see it in the books. We're in Rand's perspective, so Rand shows up the next morning after the Trolloc attack happened, but readers didn't actually see the Trolloc attack, and so to see what a Trolloc attack could look like in Emmons Field,
right.
That was exciting. From things like that excite me.
Exactly. The off-scene things that happen that we wish we could have saw happens in this book. They might have taken some things out here and there, but there are things that you could lose without cutting off an arm. And also they do have some of the most iconic parts from the books. So I appreciate the fact that they have saved some of the more iconic parts of the book, the ferry crossing, going through the ways, the different parts, from the books.
Shout out
Logoth, you know what I mean? In this episode, just basically having, the meeting between Rand and Swan that happens in book 2. In my last episode, I asked because I was just like, I'm assuming that Swan was going to Chiron, but I didn't know. And at the same time, I was just like, if she already knows and he already knows that he's a Dragon Reborn, so he doesn't have to be told that he's a Dragon Reborn, do they really need to have that meeting? But it would have been something I would have missed if they didn't have the meeting.
And they made it work. They made it work.
They made it work.
The meeting happened. It just didn't happen the same way that it happened in the books. And you still get Lan trying to prep him for meeting with the Amerlin, even though it was slightly different because in the books, we're at the beginning of book 2 and Rand is still this, really, nice, sweet sheep herder in a way. And, he's a little nervous and, Lan is, teaching him, you're going to do this bow and you're going to take this sword form and everything like that. And then, in the show, we kind of get that, even though Rand has already hardened a lot quicker than he has in the books, but we still get that. And I love it.
I love it. Exactly. I'm here for it. I was bought in from the beginning, of course, that no matter what form, as long as it wasn't completely wrecked, I was going to just going into it with an open mind, to accept the different changes because no adaptation, survives the writer's room. And some things you just have to change to make it a little bit more modern. And I think this is a great tweaks to still engage the fans and to bring in new fans, because my sister and my brothers, they're all watching it like it's Game of Thrones right now, every single episode. And I've been trying to get them to read the books, but at least my second oldest brother and my younger sister, they're watching the show, they're watching the show every single, faithfully every week. But my older brother, who actually started reading the books, and he's into Crown of Swords, I believe. He didn't like the first season because it was so different, but maybe because I've read it through so many times, I'm just like, I welcome the change. The change. I'm not exactly, I'm still a little wary about certain things, and I'll go over those a little bit with you when we go over. But at the same time, I'm still optimistic. So
I am too. And this is not to say that I'm like 100% on board with every single thing that has happened in the show. Yeah, there's little things here and there that I may not like, but overall, I'm having a good time.
Absolutely.
Having a good time. I can't wait to. I'm so excited that I don't even watch at the end of each episode. I turn it off right away. I don't watch the preview for the next episode. I just want to wait until next week and see what it's going to be.
Which is crazy, because I was watching through and I'm typing away, and I'm just basically, I didn't realize that they were previews, because I honestly, I don't really watch the previews for shows. I want to be surprised and in the moment when I see it, rather than expecting certain scenes. But I saw it, and so I wrote down those notes. So we're going to go over the scenes for the next episode. And if you don't mind.
I mean, we can, but I didn't watch it.
That's fine.
So
that's fine.
I don't know what's gonna happen.
I could throw those to the side, and we don't even have to touch them. So basically, it's absolutely fine, because I've never really gone over the next episode preview at all. So, but
okay, cool.
Hey, either way. So, but let's go over some things, some notes from, or just some things to speak about from the episode. The Aes Sedai enlistment and retirement plan. It seems like maybe there's more of a structured expectation of years spent certain places for Aes Sedai, that because Moiraine was saying, okay, we would spend a few years in the tower doing our duty, our term. I wrote in my notes, I was like, so they're making plans to be together after they finish their Aes Sedai bid. Like, they got to do their bid. They got however many years that is. Exactly. And I was just like, okay, I feel it. So I'm glad that there is, I guess, is expected time that you have to be somewhere, but everybody has a certain expectation of how your retirement is going to be, unless you're a sitter or the Armelin or a hero of the Horn, like I feel like Moiraine is. I feel Moiraine is a hero of the Horn, personally.
Oh, really? Okay.
I'm just like, I feel like if not, she has to have earned a spot. If not, she has to have earned a spot.
I feel like Nynaeve is going to be a hero of the Horn.
She probably is. And when we speak about hero of the Horn, I'm more so speaking about from the book's perspective, rather than expectations for the series. I don't know what's going to happen regarding that. I mean, I'm assuming sooner or later somebody's going to blow the horn, and hopefully certain people pop out of the horn.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna get to that. What I wanted to know, did you notice when they were talking about their plans and they were saying we're gonna live in this fish hut or whatever, blah blah blah? Do you remember from last season when they would have their secret rendezvous, that the secret rendezvous place that they created for themselves was a fish hut?
It was a fish hut. Yeah. Absolutely.
So it's like they created their future together, and they would escape to it every once in a while.
I'm wondering. Yeah, I thought that was absolutely. I love that callback, and it made me think about, when did they start having those rendezvous? Like, did they get that ter'angreal while they were did they find it somehow, or they gifted it? Because I'm assuming that's a ter'angreal that helps them that they both have the mirror of each other, and that's how they are able to meet up wherever they are. But I thought that's definitely amazing. I love the part where she says, have you ever casted a net, Miss Lady Damadred? And she's Lady Damadred, and she's just like, man, I might have. And I thought to myself, she casted a net and caught you. So I mean,
caught you, yeah.
She caught you,
so she right on in.
It was right on in. So
Yes,
she could cast a
yes,
net here and there, you know what I mean? So, I'm guessing, that now, the U-hauling is pretty much out of the question with what has transpired in their relationship, the
yeah,
pain and shame and hurt that was just going back and forth through them at the end, that ending scene. I
yeah.
was just like,
It was
oh,
heartbreaking. It was very
yes.
heartbreaking to watch. And she was flashing back. Maureen was flashing back, just remembering their time 20 years ago and the promises that they made to each other. And that was really and it just made me wonder. But I want to before we get into that, because I
Mm-hmm.
have a
Go ahead.
question about that. But before we get into that, when they uh when they witnessed Guitarra Sadai having her foretelling, I wanted to know, do you think it's actually a foretelling? Because it was happening. So when from book perspective, right?
Mm-hmm.
When an Aes Sedai has a foretelling, it's a foretelling. It's what's going to happen
Future,
in
right.
the future. But it felt like the way they showed it, Guitarra was experiencing it in real time. Like she was giving birth and she was feeling those pains and she died. It seemed like she died at the moment that Tigraine died after
Right.
giving birth to Rand. So I want to know what you thought about that.
I thought that was very interesting. Of course, they call it a foretelling in the books, but obviously, even in the books, if you really thought about it, it's quite possible that was happening at the same time. And I mean, even she kind of says, I could feel him, like so
Yeah,
I
she
don't know.
says
I
it in
don't
the
think of it
book.
as I don't think of it as actual foretelling. If not more so of a viewing, I guess you could say, where she's kind
Yeah,
of like
like a
astral
vision.
viewing, exactly,
Yeah.
seeing something, and it's connected to a point that someone needed to know. And I'm just like, I figured, I was like, someone at the Wheel Corporation decided to basically connect her, connect her router to that
Yeah.
specific spot so she could see it
Yeah.
happening. You know
In
what I
real
mean?
time.
In real
Yeah.
time, to tell the appropriate people that will be placed in position to deal with this actual information. And I mean,
Because the will
it's
weaves, as
the
the will
will
wills.
the will was will wills. It's
Yeah.
exactly. So I was just like, so I thought about that, and that's even something that I kind of in my brain, it kind of that's what it made sense that she was seeing it happen, because she didn't
Mm-hmm.
specifically say if any things that would happen in the future. She's basically
Right.
was talking about it's happening right now.
It's happening
I can
right now.
feel him
I
being
feel him. I
born.
can hear his cries. And yeah.
He's
Yeah.
coming. He's coming. That's basically,
Yeah.
that was just like, okay, he's being born into the world. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, very good catch. I
Al-
really really thought about that.
Also, in New Spring, they are accepted at that
Yeah,
moment.
yeah, and they're actually
In the
Aes
show, they're
Sedai.
actually already Aes Sedai. I thought that was interesting as well.
Right, and that makes sense as far as if you're the writing. I mean, not that I'm assuming what the writers were thinking or at all, but it kind of makes sense to kind of forward the story along, that
Yeah.
they were already Aes Sedai, so they would kind of have a little bit more freedom to go about
Right.
that endeavor. So
Right.
it kind of made sense, but that was interesting. I was kind of thinking too, how would they make them look younger enough to look like accepted, from their more mature look
Mm-hmm.
where they are right now, if they would have
Right.
to hire younger actors. But
Younger
that
versions of them. Yeah.
exactly,
Yeah.
this made sense and worked out
I
basically.
agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
I like that they were already, and they were already, and also it kind of lends itself to the fact that they saw their lives go in a whole nother way. They were full Aes Sedai, and they were thinking about what they were going to do, if they were going to, be advisors to the heir of, the
The
daughter
Queen of
heir
Andor.
of
The Queen of
Andor,
Andor. Yeah.
or like the, or the king of Gillidan at the time, I think it was, or whatever place it was.
They said the King of Altara. Altara. Yeah.
Altara.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so, but their lives absolutely shifted and turned left. So it it made sense that they were Aes Sedai at the time, and that was cool. I really appreciated that time where they're adults rather than us seeing kids considering, or I assume that they were about 20 when they were accepted in the books.
I would guess
20,
so. Yeah,
25, maybe 30.
maybe.
Yeah, I mean
I don't know.
that's
Yeah.
something about the books and the show too
Well, the
that
show is very
the
different
age.
because
Yeah,
yeah, because Maureen is really old. Like her sister looks like what she's in her 60s, 70s.
60s, 70s at the very
And
least,
and then
65 plus.
if Maureen is the older sister, then
So
she's,
right.
know,
But as soon as
she's
you start to channel, it slows down your aging too. So I'm just like,
right.
okay, I get it. But yeah, that means that Moraine has to be at least maybe say in her
She's in her
80s,
80s.
70s,
Yeah.
80s. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
easily. Yeah,
Mm-hmm,
yeah.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Which would make Guitarra Moroso a lot older because her eyes looked like she was almost like blind
Well, they said
maybe,
she was blind. They said she
and
was
long,
blind.
yeah, exactly, and
They said she was
long gray
blind. They
hair.
said in
Yeah.
the in the first season,
Mm-hmm.
they said that when Maureen was explaining, she told the story about
Right.
her foretelling slash vision or whatever,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
that she was blind but she could see a lot
Right.
because she had the foretelling. Yeah,
Different power, different different talents
different
of
talents.
different people.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I would love to get another foretelling one day, or flashback for
Mm-hmm.
Guitarra Moroso telling Tigraine to leave to leave Andor. That would be a
Yeah,
nice one, that they have
that'd
another
be a good
callback of
one.
that one.
Yep.
Right around the time when Rand finds out who his mother actually really is. That'll be good.
Right,
That'd be
right.
good.
Well, yeah, the show doesn't know. Show watchers, they
They're
know.
not there yet. Yeah.
Yeah, they know that Rand's mom is an Aiel. They don't know that she's actually Tigraine.
Exactly. She's actually
Yeah,
a wetlander.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
They don't know that
exactly.
part yet. Yeah, so
Exactly.
I'm
Um,
curious to see how they're gonna fit all that in.
quick question. This might be absolutely, just childish to ask, but
Uh,
who do you think is the more aggressive in the relationship with Moraine and Swan? I,
I
I
think Maureen is.
I feel like Moraine is. I feel like Moraine is.
Yeah, Maureen is giving. Yeah, she's the on your knees and and it was a
you
whole
know,
like power thing with them. Like Swan is the Amyrlin seat. You have to regard her as such. Yes, mother, no mother. But behind closed doors, Maureen was like, yeah, on your knees.
on your knees, you know what to
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
You know what I mean? I just thought it was interesting because I was looking at Swan in the flashback, and she was all booted and tatted up.
Yeah.
She was tatted up from head to toe basically, and she was wearing her boots even though she was she was wearing a dress, and I was just like, that's so fish, just a fisherman's
Mm-hmm.
type of
Mm-hmm.
ideal to still just be ready to do work. So I really thought that was cool.
Yeah.
And where does their relationship go from here?
Well, I was wondering, so at the end of the episode, do you think that so when Swan was like, "Oh, you lied to me about being still," and Maureen didn't really seem like she was pressed about explaining, like, yeah, nah, I was actually shielded off and Rand just, broke the shield for me. And
Right.
she didn't explain that to her. So does Swan think Maureen is a dark friend now?
Right, and exactly that. I mean, that's a obvious conclusion, especially since she followed Landfair through the Waygate. So yeah, now it's really going to make sense that will probably be the outcome of this. And so
And then I
I
want
don't
to
think
know,
she
like,
gave she go ahead.
well, no, I was going to say, and then it makes me wonder what's going to happen in the future. Are we going to have a deposement? Like, is Swan going to be pulled down off the Amyrlin seat, like in the books? And what is that whole thing going? Is she still going to be on her? Because see, in the books, Maureen and Swan had their mission, and they lived their lives, and neither one of them forgot their mission. So even when Swan was stilled in the books after being deposed, and once she escaped the tower, she was still on her mission, right? Like that, like, the mission is still there. We
Mm-hmm.
still have to guide the Dragon Reborn. Like, this is still important. And is Swan still on her mission? Is she still
Right.
going to be on her mission? And what does that mean for their relationship? If she thinks that Moraine is a dark friend.
Well, they obviously have come to different conclusions of what they should be doing with this information. So they
Yes.
had their plan, but Moraine being stilled made Swan realize that, hey, the stakes are so high, maybe I have to step in and be the
I gotta jump
ombudsman,
in. Yeah.
and make an executive decision of how we're going to handle this, because the way that we're supposed to handle it, we're supposed to let him be free and do what he has to do. And he, as a Taviran, they haven't really mentioned the word Taviran yet, have they?
They have, yeah, in
In
last season.
the first season with Loyal,
They
he
haven't
mentioned
mentioned
Taviran.
again. They haven't mentioned it
That's
again.
right. That's right. Moraine was
Maureen,
the one who introduced
yeah,
the idea of Taviran.
yeah.
So with the idea that they're Taviran, they'll bring in people that they need. Basically, that was their plan. But with her being stilled, the stakes are too high for Swan to just let it go willy nilly. But so
Seemingly stilled, because she wasn't
yeah,
stilled. She was
right,
shielded. Yeah.
exactly. In her, yeah, exactly. So, but with this new revelation of her not being stilled, she was actually not stilled, she was shielded. So with this new revelation, Swan can only see, I mean, we have dark friends. There was a reason why they basically wasn't supposed to tell anybody in the first place, because there's dark friends out there and they might want to kill Rand. So she has to decide to take the course that the tower set for generations, basically to shield him and protect him. But at the same time, Moraine is still with the idea that I can do this and this will be the best way for this plan to work. So I'm just like, I feel like that they are going to my idea, as far as Swan, I wonder if she'll be pulled down because of letting Moraine get away by herself, or not taking the rest of the Aes Sedai with her to go and recapture Rand. Maybe maybe that's what happens. And if so, Liandrin right now seems to be the one who is leading that charge, and she has not been taken down or caught yet, unless she goes ahead and kills Moraine's sister, who is the only other witness to her giving that order. So will Liandrin play that Catswain role? What do you think?
Wow. Liandrin playing the Catswain role. I don't know if I don't know.
Before you answer that, before you fully answer that,
Okay.
I'm sure you've seen before the fan casting of
Of Catswain.
I'm gonna of Catswain,
Yeah.
of Catswain. Of course, at least definitely mine behind Meryl Streep, very very closely behind Meryl Streep would be the lady, I don't know how to pronounce her name, Shorey Agdashloo.
I don't know how to pronounce her name either, but
Yeah.
I want her to be.
She's from the Expanse. She'd be perfect for Catswain.
Yeah,
But I saw somewhere that she'd be that she was Elida, that she was being casted as Elida. I'm hoping that that's completely incorrect.
No, I don't want her as Elida. I want her.
No, she has to be Catswain. My fault. I'm sorry. I mixed up my words here. I meant to say, will Liandrin take Elida's place in trying to become, I'm so sorry to confuse you there. Will Liandrin take take Elida's place to become the new Amyrlin, instead of having to now build up another character, which seems like Liandrin is doing exactly that. But then Liandrin would be a dark friend as Amyrlin.
As the Amyrlin seat, and we probably don't want that.
I mean,
I don't think
we don't want
necessary, because we already have Shariam,
which hasn't been outed as a dark friend yet. So I don't know what if we're changing.
And maybe, I don't know if they're gonna keep her as a dark friend or not. Because you really don't need the Amyrlin seat, because at the end of the day, the Amyrlin seat doesn't really have a lot of power when you think about it.
Not past the sitters. I mean, well, barely past the sitters, pretty much.
Exactly.
That being said, there's something that just popped into my brain regarding maybe it'll come back to me. Never mind.
Okay.
It was basically regarding Leandrin and becoming the Armelin and Shiriam. So when Shiriam had the novice book and she was looking through it and did she not remember entering that, or did someone use compulsion on her to write in the note that Egwene, Elaine, and Nynaeve are on their way to Camelin
Oh, you
for
mean from last
yes,
episode?
from the episode or 2 episodes ago. When Varen went and questioned Sheriam,
Right.
do you think Sheriam was compelled, or that she is a dark friend and trying to basically keep her cover that she entered that false note in the novice book?
I thought that it was a dark friend thing because I feel like they're gonna stick with the books with Sharian being a dark friend.
Right.
So I thought that was, and I feel like we'll get a callback on that in a future, like maybe next season or something like that.
Probably.
We'll get a callback to that scene where she kind of fumbled with that. I don't think she was, but I like that though. Being compelled by somebody else. I like that. I like the compelling. I do like that.
Because she played the role really well when Varen came in. She seemed as though she was really like unaware. And I was like, okay, either she's acting very, very well, or she had no clue that note was even in there. So who put that note in there if it wasn't her? And also she was acting the role really well in the testing chamber where the archers were when Nynaeve didn't come back out. Right. Who the hell added fireworks to my background?
That is so funny.
That is creepy as hell.
What is happening, yo?
I didn't even do that. So
you had Aludra. Aludra just came up in here.
Ooh.
You had Aludra in the Illuminator Guild. The Illuminators came through and
ward off spirits.
Yeah, you better throw some salt backwards. What's going on? Is this
you know how we do?
Is this gonna be an only audio show?
Oh no, I'm dropping this. Right, that's right. Thank you for reminding me. I'm dropping this on the podcast too, besides on video. But out of nowhere, there's fireworks just went off in the background behind me.
Are they gonna see the fireworks? People gonna see the fireworks?
That's hope gonna
be funny.
I hope so. That was crazy.
That's so funny.
So anyway, but yeah, she was very.
What was we talking about?
So Shiriam, is Shiriam a dark friend or not in the show? And it's still
and Varen,
watch and find out.
Varen, with her brown dark friend self.
Thank you, dark friend self.
Yeah, you would think that if Shiriam is a dark friend, Varen already knows.
Right, because she's been doing her research.
She's been doing her research. She's taking her little notes and her little, her little cryptid language, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Varen was throwing side eyes right and left through that whole entire episode.
She was like, "Word, that's what we going with."
Okay, she was. She was very
really.
She was amused right and left.
Okay,
she was like, "Okay."
Seems like they left the tower without permission.
Okay.
Oh, they had permission. Okay, great.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Varen knew she knew something was afoot.
Right. Exactly. Something was afoot, and she was basically just like intrigued by the many layers of facade of the facade that's going on right now. And so I'm hoping she's just a dark friend. Spoiler. I hope Varen is just a dark friend, deep cover, because I still want her to be a dark friend. I think that character arc is amazing.
Exactly like it is in the books. That has to be exactly. We cannot deviate from Varen's arc. We can't. That's one thing that I will be so upset if they deviate from Varen's arc, because it was great. Yes. It was great to that reveal. For me, because I'm not that insightful. I don't know when you picked up on it. I know there were a couple of people who didn't trust Varen, and I was kind of like, maybe not. I felt like Varen just had her own motives. I never thought she was a dark friend until she told Egwene that the dress was green. I was like,
yes.
Oh, why didn't I?
Damn it.
What is wrong with me? I didn't pick this up a long time ago.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
I was very pleased to find that out because it
Yeah.
made it wrapped it all. It wrapped up everything she was doing throughout the book series
Yes.
into a tight bow to make it perfectly make sense to me.
Yes.
Like even because I started getting a little bit of inclinations when she used compulsion on on the captive Aes Sedai that was being held by the sitters.
Yeah.
I mean
She was
by the
like,
Aiel.
use a little bit, just a
You
trickle,
know,
just a
there's a
little bit
trickle,
of
but
compulsion
she was using it for the right way. So I knew she was doing it for
for
good.
the
And
good. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
seeing or listening or watching, sorry, reading New Spring, I knew that Cat Swain was suspect, at least by Moraine standards. So the fact that Varen might have wanted to poison Cat Swain, I was like, I
Right.
mean, maybe she might need to be poisoned. let's talk. Go ahead, talk about it. I mean, it was a
Right.
conversation that needed to be had. But
Yeah.
when she was realized that she was here for Rand, I knew that no matter what, I knew that Varen was here to help Rand, or else she wouldn't have helped him in the second book at all. She wouldn't
No.
have helped
Yeah.
him during the great hunt.
The Great Hunt. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
with that being said, though, why it really kind of stood out to me with Varen using compulsion, or why I was still on the fence with Varen, because of the fact that I kind of feel like Moraine used compulsion on Padan Fain to get his confession in the first book.
In the
Because
books. In the books,
because
you mean?
because why would Padan Fain come out and tell her his whole entire life story to Moraine, who basically caught him in Faldara? It
Well,
just
let me
never
ask
really
you a
made sense to me.
question. Is compulsion, the use of compulsion, completely prohibited?
It's supposed to be one of the forbidden weaves. Like Balefire is
Okay.
not like locked into the oath rod and they can't do it. It's basically prohibited, and compulsion is prohibited. Personally, I mean, it's not one of the three oaths, so
Yeah. So I'm
users be
like,
aware.
right, right. It's one of is it one of those things where it's just better.
Right,
You just know better that you
it's
don't need
bad.
it. Yeah.
Exactly, it's bad.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's
because we never did really get how she got that confession. We don't see that.
I, so I always
That's off scene.
I think it took me either my second or third reread to think to myself, like, how the hell did Moraine just get, why would Potter Fane just tell her the truth? Like, why would he do that? You know what I mean? He lies about everything else. So that just basically stood out to me.
And
So when Baron did it, I was just like, okay.
but Pattern Fane is a dark friend, but worse than a dark friend. So she can use the power against him.
True,
She's allowed to. He's a
true,
dark friend.
true. Okay. I'll give you that point. Absolutely, absolutely. To be determined. For further
Yeah,
conversation.
we'll put a pin in that. We'll put
Yeah,
a
we'll
pin
put a
in
pin
that.
in that one. I'd
Yeah.
love to hear what everybody else thinks about that. Did Moraine use compulsion on Pot and Fane in book one
Book
to
two.
find out it? No,
Was
no,
it
that
book
was in
one?
book one. It
Oh,
was
book
in book
one.
one because at the end
Yeah.
of book one,
At the
she
end of
goes
book
and
one.
interrogates exactly
At the
Pot
end
and
of book
Fane and
one.
finds out that he's a dark friend and was hunting them this whole entire time. So tell me what you guys think about that. Drop it in the comments or drop me a message on email, CallMeNakomi@gmail.com, or just drop a comment in this YouTube channel. Let me
You
know
gonna
what
have
y'all
me
think.
look, you had me pull out. You got me pulling my book out.
Let me pull out my book. I feel you. Okay, so let's move on to another topic.
Yes.
Does Rand really know what he's doing with Lanfear? He's playing with it. He's riding
He's wild comfortable, don't he? Don't he seem real comfortable?
he's riding a lion and doesn't really realize he can't get off the lion.
This
I know that
is
was a bad quote from the book, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean.
Yeah, he feels really comfortable and like first of all, the question that I had is how does Rand know how to just get into Tel'aran'rhiod? So he locked up and
That's a good question.
he like, okay, I need to talk to Lanfear. I need Lanfear to help me to break me out of this joint. Did he just go to sleep and hope that Lanfear will be in his dreams? Like, how did he end up in Dream World?
That's a good question. I mean, because the only thing that happened was Moraine came to him and said that she told him at the beginning of it, or during the episode, or during the last episode, or something, basically that there's a place called the Talaran Riyadh, the Dream World, and Lanfear is a master of it. And I didn't see any other instruction that Rand received regarding how to enter it or anything, unless he just realizes that, okay, I go to sleep and they're in my dreams, so let me just go to sleep and they'll be there soon. So they'll be there sooner or later.
And I feel like it couldn't be that simple. It can't be that simple. Like, all right, let me go to sleep. I need Lanfear to bust me out. Let me just go to sleep.
Especially not especially not to book readers who are just like, he's not a dream walker, so how does he just enter the dream conscious like that?
Or it could be, maybe it is that simple, and like we know that Lanfear is obsessed with Lews Therin, and so maybe we know that Lanfear is always watching Rand's dreams, and so as soon as he sleeps, she's gonna be there regardless. I don't know.
She's like, "Hey, boo."
Right. It's me again. I'm still here.
Hey, how you doing?
With them fucking boots on, y'all. Want
those boots?
Those boots is hot, yo.
I'll tell you now.
Lanfear was looking kind of. Lanfear was looking kind of good. I ain't gonna hold you. I was kind of Lanfear was kind of. She was doing it.
Even with that little round tiara, she was looking She was on point. She was on point. Absolutely. Yeah. The designers, the costume designers for the show is doing their thing every single day with these people. So I get absolutely. So, but I'm just like,
I want to know what folks think about that Rand accessing the dream world. So simply, like that's such a. Or is there a missing scene that just got left on the cutting floor? Like how did he just jumped right, like, oh, I know what I'll do. I'll go to sleep.
Exactly. Oh, this is okay. Dream world. All right, just go to sleep. Oh, that was easy. But
I don't know.
I'd like to believe they'll go a little bit deeper into it, but at the same time, probably not revisit Rand's journey, because Perrin and Egwene have to make that journey also. They have to. I'm saying have to, because the show cannot leave that out. Period. Yeah. The show cannot leave that out. Anyway,
Egwene is the master dreamer. She's the master dreamer. So,
and Perrin is Wolf brother.
So yeah.
Amazing. I was going to start another conversation. Like, which one do you think is better to dream, Egwene or Perrin? But whole other conversation for a whole other time, maybe.
Okay.
Because I think it'll be a debate. It'll be a debate. It'll be a debate. It's a debate. But anyway, drop your comments and drop your opinions in the comments. I think it's a dangerous plan that Rand is basically in going into. So that, hey, we're gonna see how it works out for him. Maybe he's just gonna do like he does in the books and survive by the seats of his Taveran pants.
Okay. I have a question.
Go ahead.
So, all right. So Matt gets knocked out in the Four Gate. We think it's Lanfear that knocks him out, and he wakes up in Falma. So, are they traveling? Is that is that what they're doing? Is Lanfear traveling? How did they get to Falma? And also, what happened to Min? Right, Min was supposed to convince Matt to go with Rand to Falma, and that didn't happen. So I'm assuming that's why Matt got knocked out, because Min didn't do what she's supposed to do. So is Min still in her room drinking? Like, she's still just getting drunk? Like, where is she? In the books, she like takes care of Rand like after the big battle in the sky or whatever, right? So
that's what's supposed to happen.
Where is Min gonna end up in Falma? What happened to Min? That's my question. What's happening with Min? Are we gonna find out next episode? I want to know. And then my other question is, now that Matt is in Falma, are we gonna get because I am interested in Matt's arc in the show, because of how much I enjoy Matt's arc in the books. I want to know if we're going to get Matt. You know how Matt always says he's no bloody hero, but then he always does heroic things. Is he going to try to save Egwene? Is he going to notice Egwene and like, oh, fuck, I got to go save her? and then maybe Nynaeve and Elaine have already saved her, and they're like, Matt, what the fuck are you doing here? He's like, hey, I'm trying to rescue y'all. Okay, we already did it. Like,
Or
you
like in the
know,
books, they'll come in to rescue Egwene. They'll get caught too, and then Matt will come in and rescue all of them. And they'll be like, I was almost about to rescue myself.
right, right.
You know,
That's what I want to know. What happened to Mend, and are we gonna is we're gonna get some heroism from Matt? Is he gonna be the hero, the bloody hero that he claims that he's not?
exactly. I have those two exact notes written down to speak about next. Matt's predicament and what are we? If this is the last we're going to see of Min for this season? Min, possibly it might be the last we see of her until next season. I hope not, but at the same time, everybody's pretty much going to leave her. Rand and Land and Moraine have already left Kyrian, so she's probably left in Kyrian unless Lanfear / Ishi brought her with them to Falma. And Matt, I have to believe he's going to snap out of it. I feel he's playing the long game. I have to believe that Matt is just like, which way did they go? Which way did they go? And as soon as they finally leave him alone, he's going to be like, dum, 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 dum. You know, I mean, I have to believe that Matt is basically just like, he's because he caught when Ishi was there talking to him. I don't know if he knows that these are Forsaken that he's dealing with, but at the same time, I think Matt has been in enough, tight binds to not panic when he's just like, okay,
he's
well,
very cool, calm, and collected. He was like, yo, are you trying to fuck me or kill me? Whatever it is,
I'd rather have a conversation.
Like, let's get to it. Like, whatever.
Let me know. I mean, we can go just let me know
either way. I'm good with either one.
Let me know what we talk about. This is my preference, but let me know what we're doing.
Keep me informed. What's about to happen.
Exactly. So I feel like Matt, even though he saw some crazy stuff like that, he's been seeing some crazy stuff, and he's a survivor. So I feel like Matt is. I'm predicting because the horn is still in the palace. I'm predicting that the second that those two leave him thinking that he's drooling from the side of his face, he's going to be up in a second and out the door. And I'm hoping that somewhere along the line, he sees Egwene and Loyal and head on out. Or at least he grabs the horn. I'm hoping that he grabs the horn.
He has to. That's the other thing. When is he getting to the horn?
Pieces out.
And when is he blowing it? And when are we going to see what heroes are going to show up? Yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
and it's so much I want to see happen, but we only have one episode left, so that's kind of like it may not happen the way we want.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen the way we want, and I made my peace with it, But at the same time, it feels I'm comfortable. Hopeful. I'm hopeful, but I'm comfortable with their decisions for now, because they have been also including pivotal parts of the very iconic parts of the show they've been providing for us. So I'm still optimistic about everything that's going to go on, but we'll just have to hold on. Real quick before we move on to another set of characters. Lanfear and Ishi, their plots together and plots separately. I feel like she's doing her thing, he's doing his thing, and
they're working together.
They're doing together.
That's exactly what was in my head. I swear to you, I was going to ask you about like, how do you feel about, so Ishi woke Lanfear up. What's his end game? Did he feel like he needed her? Because everyone knows how Lanfear feels about Lews Therin. Was that his end game?
Toxic masculinity. That's what that was, where he basically thought that she could only have one thought at a time, and the only thought that was going to be on her mind was the Dragon D. Exactly.
Did you say the Dragon D?
The Dragon D. That was the only thing that he thought that she was going to have on her mind, like as though that women cannot multitask. We can't take over the world and go ahead and get our piece too. Plain and simple. No, and see, that's why I feel like that's what I feel is going to be Ishamael's eventual downfall. Trusting Lanfear to follow her forsaken oaths, basically, where it's always a gray area for her. She's eventually gonna basically, serve the Dark One, but in her own way, and whether or not she's gonna follow anybody is
she's not a follower.
She's not a follower.
This is what this is what confuses me. Like, 1 minute Matt is with Ishi, and the next minute Matt is with Lanfear, and like I'm just like, Lanfear is not a follower. That's
exactly.
not who she is, unless she just has her own ulterior motive that hasn't been revealed to us yet.
Absolutely. I feel like because I feel like I wish I would have written down some of the conflicting plots that are being spun by those two, where she's trying. I guess the ultimate plan is to get Rand to Falm so that he and Ishi can fight in the sky above everyone, and by one part help to proclaim the dragon, which is helping the light to me personally. But at the same time, Ishi gets to have his confrontation, or next round of his confrontation with Rand / lose. Also, darn it. You didn't watch the thing. I was going to mention something.
Yeah,
I was going to mention something that was mentioned in the preview. Because I was just like, is it me, or is Ishi giving vibes? Giving I like Lews Therin on the low key vibes. Maybe not even on the low key. Maybe he's basically just, I don't know. It was the way.
Well, in that other episode when Lanfear was in the bed with Ishi, and she was masked as Rand.
Exactly.
And Ishi was, first of all, Ishi does a lot of caressing.
He does a lot of caressing.
He likes to caress. He seems like a cuddler who likes to caress. It's very affectionate. It's affectionate Ishi, and it's weirding me out, I must say. Seeing him so affectionate, like
he's giving me vibes.
Yeah, he's very affectionate.
I'm not saying that there's nothing wrong with it.
No,
absolutely not wrong with it.
It's just,
but
it's just
like, okay, what's your motives?
Weird issue, affectionate issue.
Exactly. Touchy-feely issue.
And then I want to know if when are we gonna see other Forsaken? Maybe not this season.
But probably not this season, but next season.
Yeah, they did.
Do you think it should be?
Go
ahead. Sorry.
No, I was gonna say. What was you gonna say? Go ahead.
I was gonna say, do you think it's gonna be a woman, or another one of the female Forsaken, or one of the male Forsaken?
So they're gonna be male Forsaken, because wasn't Lanfear like naming them, and she said so and so, and the boys. She mentioned. I remember. Okay, I don't remember who she mentioned. I remember who she did not mention. She did not mention Masana, and she did not mention Semiraj.
Unfortunately. Yeah, I heard
Moghedien.
I heard Moghedien. I heard what's her name?
Grendel.
Sorry. I heard Grendel mentioned.
And she said, and the boys.
The boys, right. So I'm assuming that there's several male Forsaken.
We just don't know
also.
which ones. Yeah. We just don't know which.
Which would make sense. 13. I mean, do we really need 13?
It's a lot. 13 is a lot. 13 is a lot. Listen, I had a hard time keeping up with everybody when I first read these books. There's too many. There's a lot of characters in these books, so it's impossible to have everybody. So
exactly,
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with them.
Do you think
knocking them down?
Do you think 8 seasons is enough?
8 seasons?
I heard 8 seasons, but as a goal, the goal is 8 seasons. At least that's what I might have heard somewhere. But do you think that's enough?
I don't think it's enough. I don't think it's enough. I think it's doable. There's a lot that would have to be completely cut out. Like, are we gonna get Ravin? Right? Is Ravin one of the boys? Right? We're gonna Ravin and Morghese, that whole thing. Right? Are we gonna get that? Are we gonna get Fael's rescue? Right? That her being, with the Aiel. Are we gonna get that? Are we gonna get Berlane and her, which I hated Berlane's character in the books, with her trying to fuck with Perrin. so many things, with there are things that I hope we get Rand in the waist, and him going through the glass columns or whatever and seeing his
He has to
past.
go to the waste. It's just like it's been 2 seasons and they've gotten through 2 books.
And a little bit of there's a little bit of
A little
book
bit of
three.
third, a little bit of
Yeah.
Dragon Reborn in it.
Yeah.
It just makes me think to myself, like, can you do that in 8 seasons without? I mean, unless you just say, okay, let's just chop the whole slog out. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But still, it's like
Yeah.
3 more books after that. You know what I mean? So, or
They
4 more books after
I
that.
can't
But
see them focusing on Elaine and the whole succession. Like Elaine
uh,
just gets the throne. Like there's no drama with her getting the throne. Like I feel like they would eliminate that. Are we gonna get the sea folk? Have they even mentioned sea folk? Are we gonna see that whole thing? Are we gonna get the kin? Maybe they
right.
eliminate the kin. I
I'm
guess we have to
hoping.
think about the whole story. And if we're moving, like if we remove the kin, does it really hurt the story?
Probably not.
That's
I
what I'm
don't think the
thinking.
kin, or I mean, honestly, I don't think the kin or the sea folk really have huge pieces to the story.
Right,
Um,
right. I think it just shows us that this is just a huge world, and
yeah,
we have all the
it's part of
cultures
world
and the
building.
other. Yeah, but I really don't think at the end of the day, I mean, unless like the whole Bola Winds things, but do we really need the sea folk to deal with the Bola Winds? If we have
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Elaine, who's
Or
or
the kin,
or
and I mean, but that basically would just take out, like, I mean, this is far, far down the road. Shara, it's just like, do we just take
yeah,
away all those countries that only had small mentions
yeah.
in them?
Are we
Um,
gonna have Val and Luca and the whole circus?
they have to have Val and Luca, because I mean
I
that basically
know.
comes up twice. I mean, I personally, me personally, I would like that to happen, because it's what kind of allows Matt and Tuan to kind of to be away from the
Develop
court
their
and develop their bond.
yeah,
So we definitely have to have Altara, and I feel like they need to have that section of the traveling circus. I'm not sure if they have to have it twice with
hmm
Nynaeve and Elaine earlier too.
right.
When is Tom was completely missing from this whole entire season.
Where in the hell is Tom?
I mean, they killing me with not having Tom around. I mean,
Yeah.
Tom usually in the books, he shows up in the Great Hunt, somewhere around the middle one day in Darren Kyrian. So where the hell is Tom?
Are
So
we
I'm
gonna
just,
have a twisted doorway? Are we gonna have the Ilfin and the Elfin?
are they going to go to Tyr next
The
season?
Tower of Genji. Are they gonna go to Tyr?
Because I mean,
So many things.
the
There's so
sword
many
that's not a
things.
sword. They can't cut out Tyr,
Yeah.
because they can't cut out Kalendor, because Kalendor is needed all the way at the end of the end of the last battle.
The last battle, right?
So it's just so many things. You just it's That's, I guess, the good part about the series, that it's engaging us in that way to try to figure out, what are they going to keep in, what are they going to cut out, what can be
Right.
kept, what can't be kept, and also at the same time kind of preparing us for the fact that everything can't be kept. It's 15
Right.
books. No,
Right.
nothing lasts, unless you're the
And
Simpsons. Nothing lasts for 15
right.
seasons.
Right for 35 seasons.
You know what I mean? We can't
Yeah.
just keep this party going. Sooner or later, they have to end it. So I'm hoping. I mean, in my fan brain, I'm hoping for 10 seasons. I feel like they could condense some things. I'd like to believe that. I personally hoped that they were going to include a little bit more of season 3 into
hmm
this episode,
But you mean book
so
three?
that book 3, sorry, the Dragon Reborn. I was hoping that they were going to include a little bit more of the Dragon Reborn into second season, just
Mm-hmm.
so maybe the third season they could start off being in the Stone of Tyr
In tier,
and
yeah.
leave to go to the Waste, and that would allow them to condense and have a little bit more to go,
Mm-hmm.
because I mean, he has to learn how to use the power, and who's
And he
going to
has
train
to
him?
and he
Is
has to
Rogaine
learn
going to
how to
train him?
Right. And he has to learn how to be IEL.
And he has to learn how to be IEL and gain the entire nation, gain the entire nation and army of the IEL behind him.
Mm-hmm.
Is Logain going to train him, or is Asmodean going to train him?
Well, so here's that's one thing I noted is I found that so interesting how Logain can see weaves even though he's gentled. So is Logain replacing Asmodean in that role? Because he, theoretically he can teach Rand. If he can see weaves, Rand can do something and he can see what he's doing. And he can be like,
Exactly.
nah, don't do it. That's not what you should do. You know what I'm saying? He can
Right.
talk him through it because he can see the weave. So is it that in this world, in the TV show world, even if you're gentle, you
They
can still see
finagled
weave?
they
Or is
finagled the
that
metaphysics a little bit. They finagled it a little bit.
a talent of Logain's that's
Mm.
specific to Logain and that because Land was like, I heard you could see male weaves, as if that was a thing that
Right.
not everybody can do.
Right.
You
Right.
know what I'm saying? So maybe that's just a talent that Logain has.
Possible. Um,
I don't know.
from the books, if we're going by the books ideas, I'm not sure if when you're stilled or gentled, if you were still able to see the weaves and just
I don't
not
think you
embrace the
can.
source. Um,
I don't think you can.
um
It's because when you're stilled and or gentled, it's like it's gone
yeah, you can't touch it
completely.
because something is ripped or
It's
cut.
severed. Something is
It's cut,
severed.
something is severed. But at the same time, can you still view the weaves? I don't,
No, I don't think you can't. You can't see weaves when you're gentle or stilled.
yeah. So maybe they just decided to, massage,
Just a little bit. Just tweak it a little bit.
just
Yeah, just
massage
tweak
it a
it a
little
little
bit,
bit.
Well, you can't touch it, but you can see it still. You know what I mean? So, they basically, yeah, she could, yeah, because I kind of feel like, yeah. Anyway, so he can see the weave, so he should be able to actually teach him. But at the same time, Rand doesn't need a third age knowledge of the power. He needs to
He
have
needs a
second age
second age
knowledge
knowledge. Yeah,
because he
yeah.
needs to be able to fight the Forsaken. So I'm
And
hoping
the
that he
dark
still
one.
does, yeah, and the Dark One. So I'm hoping he still does get a teacher from the second age because he needs to be the chief of chiefs when it comes to channeling.
Oh, Car
Um
Karan. Yeah.
Karn, you know what I mean? So real quick, just to kind of move on a little bit.
Okay.
Um Parent and the Aiel, with the hand talk sliding DMs, do you think anything comes of that, or are they just you doing, harmless Aiel flirting?
I think that's just like, giving us Aiel humor a little bit, you
Sorry.
know.
Mm-hmm.
Um yeah, I think it's harmless. I just think that Avienda has replaced Gaul.
That was my next question. Does
Yeah,
Avienda replace Skull in this whole entire
yeah,
thing? And then does
absolutely.
Avienda continue to follow Perrin around instead of Gaul? And then how, with that
Yeah.
being said, how does Rand and Avienda meet, or do they not? I mean, they'll probably meet sooner or
Are we
later,
gonna
but
have an
do they
igloo
not
scene?
have? We're gonna have the igloo scene, or because if she can channel, she should probably be called back to the waist to start her
To
wise
start
one
wise one
training.
training. Yeah, yeah. Are
So
we gonna have that? Are we gonna have Wiseman training? It's so much. It's
so much,
so
so much. I'm just like, you can't do this in eight
oh my
seasons.
gosh.
You
Oh
can't do this
my
in 8 seasons.
gosh. I don't know what else you wanted to talk about.
You
I
gotta
have a
go.
no, I don't have to go.
Okay.
I'm here. I'm here for you. I'm here
No,
for
go,
you.
go, 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 go. What's
I
up?
have a
What's up?
question. I have a
Okay,
question.
please.
It's about Varen, right? I know we talked about Varen
Mm-hmm.
already, but okay. I want to know if Varen, when she came in to Leanna and said, and I wrote it down
Mm-hmm.
because we got to get exact words. She said, "I've been told to watch the boy," and then she says, "This is an order, Leanna Sedai." So was she lying, Or was she being clever with her words? And if she was being clever with her words, and if she was completely telling the truth, she said, I've been told to watch the boy. Who told her to watch the boy? And
Exactly.
then she said, this is an order, Leanna Sedai. An order from whom? Who gave her the order? Or is she saying, I'm giving this order to you, Leanna Sedai? Or she just said, this is an order. She didn't say who's giving the order, who the order is for, who the order is from, and who the order is for. She didn't say.
Right. So
and it's different from the books where she flat out lied. She was like, Moraine sent me.
Moraine sent me.
Yeah.
But we weren't able to really know that I was fake until like what, book 3?
I didn't even think about it. I was like,
book 4.
I didn't even think about it. It didn't even occur to me. Moraine sent me. No, she didn't.
Exactly.
Then I was like, maybe she did, and we didn't see it. Like I was just so.
I didn't catch it until the second
time I read is
the second read. The second read is when I was like,
because once we find out who
what Vern's
deal is, and then you go back and you're like, oh snap!
How did I miss that?
Yeah,
exactly. So the first thing that she tells Leanne, I wrote that down too. I was just like, she says that the Amelin requires your strength to protect Carrion. That's what she told her first. So with that is a true statement. Yes. Or at least it could be conceived as a true statement. And then she tells her,
because she could be talking about the Amelin requires your strength to protect Carrion.
That's general.
That's so general. It could be your strength in still holding this shield.
Mm-hmm. That didn't mean that the Amelin sent me to tell you that
doesn't mean anything. She just made a blanket statement.
Yes, a blanket statement. Yeah. So that could be interpreted any way. And and maybe Moraine told her, watch the boy. So yeah, I was told to watch the boy.
Somebody told her.
Somebody told me to watch the boy.
Somebody told her to watch the boy. We don't know who told her to watch the boy. And then I also find it interesting that Leanna, as an Aes Sedai herself, can be so easily manipulated.
That part.
That kind of made me come on, Leanna, you all Aes Sedai are experts at
right,
manipulation with their words. Because they cannot lie, and so in order to get results that they want, they're master manipulators. Deus Damar, right?
Exactly.
How is it that Leanna is just so
easily convinced? And I thought to myself, I was just like, you know what? Maybe because of the fact that in her mind she did the calculation that Varen is a retired Aes Sedai. She's not a fully enlisted and active Aes Sedai. So maybe she thought to herself that maybe she's sending a lesser Aes Sedai who has strength and who could hold him, which Rand must be magnitudes lower than what Logain was, because they needed two Aes Sedai to hold Logain down, but Rand can be done in a snap. So Rand hasn't grown much in his strength yet. So that just goes to show you how in his infancy Rand is in his power. But maybe that convinced her, the fact that it was a part of their party. Varen was part of their party coming to Kyrian. But yeah, if I was Leanne, I'd have been like, yeah, she could use your power too. So let me just stick with my post and stay where I'm at. But yeah, she was very easily. She was very easily convinced.
Easily manipulated. Yeah, she said, "This is in order." What's in order? She just said, "This is in order." She didn't talk about any order. What was what was the order?
Exactly.
This is in order. Yeah.
It didn't exactly. I don't think. I just think it was very, very easy.
I'm a little disappointed in Leanna,
and the one she was worried about was Moraine. The one she was worried about was Moraine, who was supposed to be stilled. Don't let her get close to you. What? That don't make no sense. Yeah. Why? What was she gonna do?
What was she gonna do? Stilled. Yeah.
Yeah. That didn't completely.
Or maybe it's just that Leanna being the being the
keeper.
The keeper is so used to just following orders.
Mm-hmm.
that she just went with it. I don't know. But I thought
Exactly.
that was interesting to note that Leanna was so easily like, okay,
Exactly.
you
Exactly.
know, because
Um,
regular folk I could see it, but like if your eyes to die, you up on that.
you're
That's what
used
you
to
do.
that. That's how y'all speak to
Yeah,
each other.
yeah,
The waters and the Aes Sedai should both know to examine and dissect every single word that comes out of an Aes Sedai's mouth,
yep,
because that is how they navigate the world, by
yeah,
saying what they want to say rather than what you think they're saying. So
right,
exactly. Which was a very amazing, a very good example of Deus Demar on the show's point.
yeah.
Um, so also, yeah, because I mean, Egwene and Rena, we don't really need to go over too much about them because I mean, yeah, Egwene, the second she gets a chance, she's gonna scratch her eyes out.
Yeah,
She's gonna put
poor
a hurting
Rena.
on Rena. She's gonna put a
Poor
hurting on
Rena.
Rena. I feel
Yeah,
bad for Rena
Rena's
a
gonna
little
get
bit,
it.
kinda.
Rena's gonna get it. You know what I didn't understand? And
Excuse me.
this is not a big deal. When
Mm-hmm.
they were doing their when they were having their lesson, when they were doing their show of strength,
Mm-hmm.
and Rena said, I don't need anything from you. Was she saying she didn't need any strength from her? That's all. I'm a little confused. I have to admit, I'm a little confused about how the show is portraying the Suldam and the Damani, right? So we know that in the books that the reason why the Suldam can control Damani is because Suldam can actually channel.
Mm-hmm.
But that's like a huge secret because anybody who can channel must be leashed according to
So I mean,
Sean
Sunshine Long.
Chan. Yeah, they
Yeah.
must be. But so like for example, when Elaine and Nynaeve put the collar on that soul dam, how did they know that the collar would work
They
on the
didn't
soul
specifically,
dam?
right.
Like
They didn't
they
specifically go over that, or did they, or somewhere, I mean, they they didn't show that was off scene if they were able to put the collar on either of them, because they were looking at the Adam and the bracelet in the room before Rena, not Rena, Rima got right, Rima
Rima.
got was taken. So I'm assuming they did some experiments with it, but they didn't show it, whether or not they were able to
I
put it
don't think they
on
wanted
or take
to.
it off, or see if it would work on on any person, to see if the bracelet, that they didn't show any of that. So that's very, very
Yeah.
murky to know exactly what the physics, or the how that works on the show. So
Because it's
yeah,
like in show world, can you just collar anybody?
that part
You know
exactly.
what I mean?
They need
Like,
to explain, yeah, who can
yeah,
and who can't, exactly.
yeah.
So I am looking forward to it, to see if whether or not we get the ending of the Great Hunt, like we do in the books, where Egwene gets some retribution.
Mm-hmm.
So, or what the ramifications of collaring a Suldam is. I'm looking forward to seeing what that is, for this, what impact that has on the Shanshan Empire.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Elaine and the Suldam, Elaine and Nynaeve take the Suldam for a walk. Basically, I'm not mentioning anything I saw from the previews, basically,
Okay.
but at the same time, do you feel like it's going to work as far as being able to walk in with a Suldam on a
It has
collar?
to. Yeah, it has to work. It has to work. It's gonna work.
It's going to work.
I can't see it not working. It's absolutely gonna work. Side note, I just need to say this. This is totally kind of off topic.
Mm-hmm.
I hate that I feel this way, but the Shanchan look absolutely fucking amazing. They're incredible. The hair, first of all, everybody's hair is fucking dope. You
Absolutely.
see
Whoever's
the
braiding
stitch
hair,
braids.
hair
Yo,
girl,
who's doing the stitch braids? Yo, because mine is kind of old right now.
no,
But
but
the stitch braids,
mm-hmm.
the stitch braids on Rena, the stitch braids on the other Suldam who was doing their whole little, everybody looks dope. And did you
Absolutely.
notice that Egwene's braids, when they have her hair braided, they're not regular cornrows. Those are what you call it, fishbone braids.
Fishbone braids, right? Exactly.
Oh, they look so dope. I'm like,
They look dope.
I want fishbone. I want Damani fishbone braids. That's what I want for my next hairstyle.
I
I
might have
want
to do that
Damani
next Jordan
fishbone
Con.
braids. Yo, I
I
need
might have to
Damani
do that for
fishbone
next
braids.
Jordan Con and go ahead and do
Yo,
that because
I hate
those are
that this
dope.
show, we're not supposed to like the fucking Shan, and the show got me loving they fucking look. Like their look is just incredible. At all of them, everybody.
Feel like even the books kind of really like people they want to hate the Chan, but you at the same time you got to respect them on many different levels. So I think the show is doing that too a little bit. Whereas it's like, yeah, they are horrible people. They're absolutely
Yeah.
horrible people, but damn, they got style.
Yo,
Damn, they got style.
yo, I want
They
fishbone.
know how to do it.
I'm going into the African braid shop with a picture of Egwene as a Zamani.
Me get some
And I'll
Damani
be
braids,
like,
please.
this is what I want. I
And
want
they're gonna
this.
have it on the wall. They're gonna christen it on the wall. Damani
Yeah.
braids.
Zamani.
Go ahead and start that. Go ahead and start that new chapter of braids.
Yeah, yes,
Shar
yeah,
up in
yo.
Harlem.
Word. That's what I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it right in Harlem. Harlem gonna have it
just,
first.
just let it spread out through the ether.
Damani
Absolutely,
braids. And people
absolutely.
be like, what are Damani braids? What? Damani braids, but nah, stitch braids,
Oh,
that's old. You need to get Damani braids.
get them Damani braids. Plain and simple.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
just absolutely great.
Crazy.
I love the costume work. So many
Oh, it's
parts,
gorgeous.
aspects of the show is just completely on point. I wish that they could have a larger crew. I'm not sure what the what the regulations as far as filming is in Prague right now, or the different places that they're filming at, but it still looks like they're kind of limiting themselves to smaller crews. But at the same time, I'm hoping that it increases. So as the show increases and the numbers, that the books pretty much kind of emphasize, like, I mean, at the end it's going to be pretty much the whole fighting world able to against the dark one. So I'm hoping that the cast can, and the amount of extras that they can have, increase also. So
Yeah.
I'm very, very pleased with the show. I'm very excited to see where they go
Yeah,
with the show. And yes,
definitely.
I had this in my notes. Is this the last we've seen of Min for the season? I'm hoping not,
Yeah.
but at the same time, it's okay if we see her next episode. And with that being said, then if Perrin and Avienda end up meeting with Rand and Moraine, then Avienda gets to meet Rand that
She'll
way.
meet Rand for the first time. Also, Elaine is gonna meet Rand for the
And
first time.
Elaine,
They're
ooh,
all gonna be there.
Elaine.
If we get men there, then they all would be there.
Oh, that would
That's
be
so
something.
interesting. And then
That's
Min will have her.
messy.
Min already had her vision. Did Min already have her vision? She probably already had her vision.
I'm sure she already
She
had
didn't
her,
tell anybody.
and she just the nobody knows if men, like, she wouldn't even tell Moraine that vision if she basically had that vision of her and Rand and three women, but she hasn't told anybody about any vision that she's had with involving herself and Rand.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm glad about that. It leaves a lot of mystery to be
Yeah.
to
And
be
I wonder how he's gonna connect because he's already starting to harden. I would feel like he's a little raw from learning that Celine is Lanfear. How amenable is Rand gonna be to like falling in love with somebody? You know, is it gonna be love at first sight when he sees Elaine? You know, we didn't have the garden scene. He didn't fall into her garden and all
fall
of that
into
kind
her
of
garden
thing. Yeah, he didn't fall into her garden. And when does he first meet Avienda? Is it in
in
Tyr?
in Tyr in the beginning of book 4, when before they go off to the Io Waste.
And
That's when he
then
meets Avienda.
When Avienda goes to Rodian and she has her vision, so that's how she knows about her
Mm-hmm.
and Rand, and then she's all mean to him because she's supposed to be because him and Elaine are already an item. So then she's all like, "Fuck you, Rand," you know.
Fuck you. Lose my number. I'm blocking you on social.
Yeah, and then how is like how is he gonna fall in love with men? Like this is I don't know. I guess they figured it out and we
I,
just gotta wait and see.
Exactly. And I wish that they would have had more time, more screen time with Min and Rand in the first season, to kind of show whether or not a connection actually happened or however she sees. She just looks at him and takes a shot, like, but it never really
Yeah.
shows if there's anything there. I guess holding something back for the new viewers. And so I don't believe that Min got to go to Kyrian with them unless they just haven't shown her and
You mean
off scene
Falmer?
somewhere. Falm, sorry,
Because
Falm.
she's in Korean,
Yeah, I don't think that they
drinking.
took her with right. I don't think that they took her with them to Falm.
Falmer, yeah.
Um, but the fuck, more fireworks.
Aludra is in the building. That's
I'm like, who are we? Do we have any of the participants? What the hell's going on
Aludra
here?
it's Aludra.
That's
Yeah,
crazy. Anyway,
yeah.
I'm just gonna keep on going. Keep on going.
We're gonna pretend we ain't see it. We just gonna keep on. That's
What
so funny.
fireworks?
Yeah. Side note, did you notice that look Nynaeve gave when Elaine was like, "Yo, we gotta do it my way now. Just do exactly as I tell you." And Nynaeve
Nynaeve
gave
was
her this
like,
like, what? Like, yo, the side eye game is real. The side eye game is real. I love it.
that part. And when Loyal came in and he bowed and kneeled in front of
And yeah,
she was
she was
just
like,
like,
"Don't encourage her."
don't encourage her.
Yeah, don't encourage her. And
she,
then he was annoyed with
don't
she was
encourage
annoyed
her.
with Loyal too. She was like, yeah. Your name sings in his ear. Listen, we ain't got
Exactly. Yeah.
we ain't got time for all those formalities. Like, let's listen. We got bigger things,
We got things to do. We got things to
Yeah,
do. Play simple.
yeah.
Have you seen Elaine?
Right.
Is anybody else with you? We need real stuff to go on. So I was really I was very entertained by this episode.
I want to know if oh, two more things I want to know.
Mhm.
I want to know why didn't why did Lanford have to do the whole like big distraction? Like the same way they got Matt to I guess they traveled. Why she didn't just travel? Why she didn't just like
Travel and take Rand out of the
take
cell.
Rand out of the cell? Yeah, like well, I guess she had to see the cell and already had known the cell in order to travel to it. But she could have traveled to the palace and still busted the door like she did. She didn't have to. I guess she needed the distraction, the
I
whole
get
fire in the foyer just to get everybody distracted into that while
I
she's going to get Rand. I don't know. I
Yeah,
guess.
I guess it was just like more of a subtle a subtle way of busting him out rather than destroying half the palace. I did think about that, just wondering, but I was just like, okay, maybe she's just, trying to draw them out so they could sneak out rather than basically killing several Aes Sedai and making
Yeah.
a bigger issue and turning him into a larger enemy to the Aes
Mm-hmm.
Sedai. That's my rationale. That was the rationale in my mind. But yeah, she definitely could have just did anything she wants. And traveling, I think she definitely did travel with Matt to Farm,
Mm-hmm.
but they haven't shown anything about like that yet.
Yeah.
Just like how them showing them entering the dream world or anything like that. They haven't showed
Right.
specific those kind of channeling or channeler specific abilities yet. So I thought that was I think that leaves a lot more to for them to unfold as the years
Yeah.
pass,
Something more to
basically.
teach the non-book readers.
Exactly. Because I
And
mean,
then what exactly did Lanford do to Swan? Like, did she? Because she said a broken Aes Sedai is better to me than a dead one. What does she mean by broken? Did she still her? Is Swan stilled?
hope not. But that would but she can't use a stilled ice, a stilled Armelin. But I guess, kind of like if she's idea where he's just like, you don't just kill everybody. People are still, usable and valuable. So
Because
I,
whatever
I
she did to Swan, it removed the shield off of the shield that Swan was holding on to Rand with. That completely removed it. So she did
right.
something to her
Yeah, I
to
think
cause her
that
to do that.
Yeah, I think that if you basically was to kind of like, because that's happened throughout the books, where if you were to catch a Aes Sedai or a Channeler off guard, and they lose concentration or consciousness,
they drop the
they,
weave.
they they will drop the weave.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that would be a very tidy way of getting Swan off the Amelin seat if Lanfear was to still her or put a
Mm-hmm.
shield on her that they can't see or aren't able to, but they would be able to see it because they'd be able to, because they could see female weaves.
Right.
So that's definitely something that is left to be answered. I hope that she just knocked her on, knocked her delirious and she barely could, she's just
But she
barely
seems like she can't
conscious.
move. If it's
Yeah,
like if she
yeah,
just paralyzed, is she just like, is she gonna be in a wheelchair now? Like, or is somebody gonna come and heal her?
that
Like,
would be
I don't
sad.
know.
That
That
would be
would be
sad
sad because
if she
she
was.
would be healed though. I don't think she could. Somebody would heal her.
They would heal her exactly,
Yeah.
unless something is missing. She could be healed, hopefully. So, but I'm very interested to find out what how the whole tower politics unfold.
Yeah.
I'm also interested to see I forgot her name, the blue sitter who was taken by the Shan. Does she
Oh,
get
I forgot
rescued
her name
along with
too.
them, or does she continue to remain a Damani
Mm.
in captivity? Um, how do you think the season is going to end?
I think that they are going to give us book fans our fight in the sky with Ishi at
Mm-hmm.
the end. I think that also. So I'm trying to remember. Everybody else was fighting also, right? While Rand was fighting in the sky.
Right, right.
Um,
There's supposed to be white cloaks and
right, where the white cloak.
Uno, but Uno obviously R.I.P.
Uno is
Uno.
gone. Yeah, R.I.P. Uno. Where are the white cloaks?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know how I think the episode is going to end. I is Hopper gonna I think we're gonna see some more wolves. I think since Hopper is there with Perrin, and once Perrin and Avienda and Bane and Chiad actually get into Farmer and see what's what, they're gonna get there right at the nick of fighting. Like I think they're gonna show up and shit is already gonna be popping off.
Mm-hmm.
Um Somehow Matt escapes whatever room he's in. Somehow he gets, I don't know how. I mean, yeah, I don't know how. I don't know how that's gonna happen because I want him to try to get Egwene out and then run into Nynaeve and Elaine. And then he doesn't know who Elaine is. Right. This is all so different. Everything is so different.
Exactly.
Everything is
He,
just so different.
he
It's
it. But I like it. But it's good. I like it.
I like it too. I do I
It's
do
so
like it
different.
too.
You don't exactly know how all the pieces are there, but you don't know how all the pieces are going to fit.
Yeah.
And it might not be the specific picture that you expected for it to be, but it's going
Yeah.
to fit somehow. So I'm here for it. I'm really interested in how that's going to go. Um,
And when they're
and
fighting, what is Lanfear gonna do? When Rand is fighting Ishii, is
she's going to be sitting
she
by.
gonna try to help her man? Because that's her boo thing.
Right. And that's the thing with Lanfear. You don't know what her ultimate, goal is until the last minute. And I mean, who knows what she's going to do? She might just sit back and let because as far from the book's perspective, she wants her and Rand to rule the world side by side, not with
Exactly.
Ishi and she
Right.
or
Right.
so maybe she's
And she's
starting her.
jealous as fuck. She's jealous as fuck.
I do not believe that the end of book 2 is going to go down in season 2 because at this point, forget about Moraine. Moraine's just a mother figure that she basically just doesn't
Yeah.
want
But
around
she
Rand.
didn't want her, she wanted to kill her on sight too. But
Oh,
if any, oh my God, if he
but that's
sees
because
her, like
that's
if
because
she,
they're battling right now. Those two.
yeah, but if she sees, if Lanfear, it's similar to Lanfear and Maureen fighting at the docks and they fall into the twisted doorway.
Mm-hmm.
But if Lanfear see, like, let's say Elaine and Rand meet and they have googly eyes with each other, Lanfear is not having it.
Oh, hell no.
She's not having it. You will not notice. He is mine. He is mine. He's mine.
Mine. It's not gonna
And
be
he
like, go ahead and hold on to him. I'll be back for him later. It ain't gonna be none of that. It's gonna be
mm,
like, so I walk away for 2 seconds and you have another
right,
on your face.
right, right, right.
It's not gonna be that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's gonna be on
yeah,
site with all these
yeah,
chicks. And
yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing what happens. I hope that the next season goes into Dragon Reborn, and
I feel like the
which
episode 8 got to be long as hell. I feel like it got to be like an hour and a half. Like,
but I appreciate the fact that they're having longer episodes. Like they're not doing like 45-minute episodes like how like
yeah,
Game of Thrones used to have 48 minutes. I'm like, come on now, y'all have 8 episodes. Go ahead and give us a whole full hour at the very
yeah,
least, 65
yeah,
minutes. Come
yeah,
on. I mean, you have nothing but time. We have nothing but time.
yeah.
And you're not on a TV schedule. Go ahead and
Right.
do and give it to us. So yeah.
Yeah.
Um Hopefully they could get through a lot in that episode. I'm definitely going to be interested. I'm hoping, just for our viewers, I'm hoping that I am able to put out a review for that episode when it comes out, because I am actually going on vacation after this next week.
Hmm.
So it's going to come out on Friday and I leave for my vacation on Saturday. So somewhere in there, I'm
Gotcha.
going to try to put up at least a reaction, if not a full review. So hopefully I'll be able to do that, and you won't have to wait until the following week to get my full review. But either way, I'm going to put out something for the last episode. And that's why I was so happy to be able to get you to come in for this episode so we can have a really good full season talk and
Yeah.
discussion. So
Yeah.
thank you so much for coming, Shar. I really,
You're
really appreciate it.
welcome. Happy to be here. So happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me. I
Hopefully
had
not the
fun as
last time.
always. Definitely.
Absolutely,
Listen, let me
absolutely,
know. I'm happy to come back.
absolutely, and definitely same with Watt and Color.
Oh,
I,
you have it. You are always welcome.
I
Always.
appreciate it. I appreciate
Always.
it. My sisters. I
My
appreciate
sister.
that. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna just end it right there because we Shar didn't watch the previews, even though I watched the previews, but it wasn't nothing that I was gonna really go over besides just mentioning things that I saw. So that's not important. We'll just absorb and enjoy what we see when episode 8 comes out. Any last thoughts that you might have, Shar?
No, just I'm excited and can't wait for episode 8, and then I'm gonna be sad again because we'll have to wait however long we'll have to wait for next season.
I know, but hopefully not too long. And hopefully they introduce some really good characters and we'll get to see more of the things that we expect from the books, and also some really good surprises, because we're all, here for that. And will Perrin meet Fail? Or hopefully that'll be so odd if he was to get with Avienda. That would
I
be
don't think
just
he's getting with Avienda. I
off.
think Avienda is just his homegirl. I think
Yeah.
she's
Uh,
just gall. She's gall. That's
yeah,
all. Yeah, they
exactly.
just
Exactly.
yeah,
Exactly.
that's
Maybe,
all.
maybe that's how she'll stay relevant going around with Perrin rather than just following behind Rand. But at the same time, I feel like she also should be going for her wise one training. So let's see if she could actually channel. We'll see
Right.
as that transpires in the next season.
Yep.
But yeah, just like you, I'm very, very I'm very much enjoying this season. I'm very much looking forward to the next season and what Rafe and the rest of the writers and showrunners and creators have for us. I'm very pleased with what we're getting right now. So
Yeah, definitely.
thank you everybody for stopping by. Of course, I am CallMeNakomi, and this is CallMeNakomi World. This has been my season 2, episode 7 review. Please remember to comment, like, subscribe, share, and rate me if you're listening to this on podcasts. It really will help for the whole entire channel to grow and for you all to be able to see me more often. I really, really appreciate it. Remember, you can always follow me at CallMeNakomi on Instagram and CallMeNakomi1. That's the number 1 on X. And you can always send me an email at CallMeNakomi@gmail.com. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Shar, do you want to tell anybody where to follow you or where they can find you?
Yeah, so WOT in color, WOT in color, the English spelling of color, the American English spelling of color. And we are on all of the socials. And with the episode 8 coming next week, now is a good time to, if you haven't already listened to WOT in color, catch up. We have a few episodes there. We haven't completely finished our first season, which is book 1. So catch up. Come check us out. WOT in color everywhere. And I am Shar.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Shar, for what you and Kiba do. It's a fresh new look, a fresh breath of fresh air to the WOT fandom that WOT in color basically provides. And I really appreciate what you guys are doing and appreciate you guys inviting me in. So I hope to definitely see more episodes and join you guys whenever I can. So absolutely. Appreciate it. Absolutely. And I hope that good blessings, Jumbo, my sister. Thank you so much for being on my show. Until next time, everyone, take care of one another. Watch over your people. Watch over your friends and the little ones. And may you always find water and shade.